Eagles released, eventually to Williams, towards the goal face. Doggies have their first.
That was the reply that Centrals were looking for. They worked really hard. The Eagles were able to pump down in their back half. They fumbled it around a little bit. I thought a couple of times they had opportunity to clear the ball out by foot, but they elected to go with their hands, and it come unstuck as we see Centrals just got to the front and square of this with Chad O'Sullivan. Nicely dished it out to Williams, and Williams, you don't want to give him too many looks at goal because he'll finish them off.
Inside 50s, 5 to the Bulldogs, 3 to the Eagles. The Bulldogs finally get some reward. Ryan Williams booting goal number 25 on the season, taken by Almond. Left footer around the corner. It ends up with Goldsworthy, who kept on running. He's just on 50. He loads up. The kick is away to the pocket. Just didn't quite get time to steady himself there, Matt Goldsworthy.
Had a lot more time than what he realised. I thought he could have run with the ball and had at least had a bounce, but you just don't get that sort of time in grand finals. That's why he kicked it. Particularly
Early. Sutherland, third man up was Staple. James Gowans couldn't release. Grokey got him with a good tackle. A lot of intent in that tackle from Adam Grokey.
That's a feature of grand finals. You've got to tackle well. You know, it's all well and good with skills, but unless you tackle well, you don't get a chance to get the ball back.
Shark by Thomas. His bouncing ball. Day was there. O'Sullivan couldn't collect. All done by O'Hara. Just weaved through traffic. Handball. Chris Gowans couldn't take it with him. Big pack develops and we get another ball up. Umpire Colin Rouston, the man to call for it. Hasn't umpired a grand final for 10 years, Cole Rouston.
I spent 3 years umpiring AFL footy along the way. And a couple of guys, including Richard Williams, got in his way. Richard Williams retiring this season as the ball clatters to the surface and players hammer in after it. We'll get another ball up. Chad O'Sullivan. So Sutherland took the ball out of the ruck. Don't know if he disposed of that correctly. Umpire Rouston says I'll have it again. He'll be under pressure this afternoon. Big Redden coming in to back up Parry. It'll be a very interesting contest. They'll want to get it away from the Packs, the Eagles. Now the Doggies back into their game style.
This is where you can employ a third jumper. You've got a couple of big dinosaurs that just want to lean on top on against each other. Just need someone that can launch into and jump over the top and smash it your way.
Off screen to the left there, or just to the left of the screen, number 33, Lewis, has come on the ground for the Eagles, and he's got Schiller for company, who is the young player who is a master tagger. So, free kick out of the ruck contest to Jared Redden, and Redden gives it to Powell, says, oh, thank you very much. Powell gets the kick away forward. It's loose. Nobody can take the grab. In the end, Templeton comes away, and then O'Sullivan, and then Jenner was slow, and then Sutherland got kicked, but only just in the direction of Thompson, and then it breaks for Lewis, and Lewis is careful with his kick in front of Treview's on his left natural leg. He decides to go back to Lewis. He's a left footer as well. Second attempt was pretty good, and Grokey worked hard as he always does.
Grokey was there for the first one. They missed the first one. Grokey was free in the goal square, went back, and then Lewis had to find him again, but it's a tough kick from where he was. If he had got to him earlier, it would have been 15 metres out.
Grokey into what breeze there is, so it'll be a very difficult kick from over there in the left forward pocket for the Eagles. They lead by 6 points, and they've gone forward a couple of times with good precision. So Grokey plays on, hooks it back, not going to make the distance. They need a mark now. They had lots of numbers in the pack. The ball smothered off Sutherland's boot, and eventually we'll get a ball up. Very close to goal. Chance for the Eagles, still to pressure.
Been watching Stevie J in the AFL Grand Final. Adam Grokey wanted to run around. Probably felt that he needed to get that extra 5 yards. Ball knocked toward the goals by Grokey, so there's a rush behind. So the first behind of the Grand Final. The Eagles 2-1, lead it. Centrals 1 straight.
So a 5-point game. Sainsbury, probably with his first touch of the afternoon, just running the ball out. Should say a 7-point game, by the way. My maths is awful. Ball out to centre wing. Goodrum comes unrealistically, said the umpire. Gefrida. And then Tumpus. Players available in the middle. He's got to hit one of them. He was lucky in the end. And now Tiller, who's an enormous kick, and he goes down to half forward looking for Redden, and Redden's taken away from the ball by Barmby pretty well. And now James Gowans, who went to ground perhaps a little too easily. Support from Barmby. And he's taken the ground as well. What does the umpire say about that? He says, I'll have the ball up.
He was very intent on just holding the ball up here, Barmby, wasn't he? Look, made no genuine attempt. You've got to give a little bit of credit to the umpires. Probably blindsided on that.
And credit to Redden as well to keep in that contest. He gets a handball ahead to Allman. Allman's bouncing, wobbly ball. Just kicked off the ground by Templeton. In comes Treby. Treby left foot, right foot. He wants the left. Decides to feed it back to Sikalella. A little bobble. And then he decides to spear the kicking, looking for Grokey. Got it on the half volley. The left footer up and under. Thompson's got to do some work. Can he take the mark? On ground level, good. His recovery, sensational. The snap is just away to the left. Luke Thompson was in that all the way. His recovery was sensational from the leap and then to gather again.
It was a 3-on-1 contest too with Thompson. Got back to his feet fairly quickly. Just couldn't get the spin of the ball right to get it across his shoulder.
So Sainsbury, well, he was trapped immediately, but released it for Templeton and then for the skipper in Thomas. And from 40 metres from his own defensive goal, he sent it down centre wing. Interesting holding going on between Goodrum and McKenzie, and now the umpire will come in and adjudicate a ball up just slightly forward of centre wing for the Eagles. They've made a very good start.
They've made a good start, but Eden Central's ability to get the ball out of a point kicking situation, fantastic. They can get that the length of the ground usually.
Ball held in tight, and so was McKenzie. And now the umpire circles and comes in and says ball up. An 8-point game halfway through the opening term of the 2011 Grand Final. Doggies looking at 5 premierships in a row. The last side to beat them was the Eagles. And they're going nowhere at the moment. Still, it's... Well, no, the umpire's picked out a free kick, a high tackle in there on McKenzie. So the Eagles get a chance to go forward. McKenzie goes to a one-on-one. Templeton, oh gee, Grokey let it go. Schiller just released it. It was intercepted by Remington. He strains it towards the goal square. The big body of Redden. He holds it at the front, and Staple comes in and is immediately held in a tackle.
I think it's a good tactic to play Redden forward. I like that one. He's a big man up there. He's going to attract someone to go with him.
Well, if anything, you would say the Dogs are vertically challenged. The ball comes down. Hayes was a man bustling through, and we'll get another ball up. And I may have spotted a free kick there. No, he hasn't. So still we're only 15 metres out from the Eagles' goal face. Redden tried to knock it down. O'Sullivan, who started the game well, and then Hayes and Schiller, and Sainsbury's away.
Sainsbury with a couple of bounces on the outer side, and the veteran Sikalella won't give up the chase. Sainsbury ran his full measure, and then the kick just coughed it up to parry. And on the rebound, the Eagles may be able to build something. Tiller with a handball to a staggering McKenzie. Across the top to Jared. Jared's kick just kept in line. Handball over the top from Gefrida. Got it to Tumpus, who wanted his right boot and then hit up for the leading player in Treby. Treby, we know, has got a long kick on him. But Tumpus just kept on running. He's got pace, and he shoots for goal, and he splits the middle. The young man kicks a brilliant goal.
Oh, what about that from the young man, a 17-year-old. I think he's only just turned 17. He's run the length of the ground. He worked from the half-back line, won really hard. We'll see the kick here. Comes into Treby. Just worked hard to get past Treby. Treby saw him running on the outside, and Jimmy just used that a little bit of pace. And one thing he's renowned for is his finish. And when he gets it, he'll finish it through the big sticks. And a very excited young man there.
Tell you what, boys, the Eagles are rotating very heavily off the bench too to try and exploit some of this. Changes are ringing right, left and centre down here.
So Tumpus goes into the middle, and James Gowan starts the workout. Hanneth, opposed to Parry, who had his foot outside the circle, wasn't noticed. Hanneth with a fresh air shot. Now it'll come to Tiller. He got a good bounce off the side of the boot, still went 50 metres. Boy, he's a good kick. And the ball might just roll out. No, it doesn't. It stays in. Barmby ensures it goes over the line. as Hanneth and Sutherland change places, and Barmby goes back to half back for the Doggies. So now it'll be Sutherland opposed to Parry, the #1 ruckman from both sides. Parry, 3 games against Centrals this season. Parry missed 2 of them. Doggies fans happy with that. Finally a free kick. Boyd, one of the smallest players on the ground, for a high tackle. Now here's Sutherland. Still a long way from goal.
Sutherland inside 50, high floating ball. They jostle for position. Sikalala, quick hands. Lovely work done by Raymond. He got it from Tiller. Then to Lewis. It's a bit of hang time in this, but Powell, he will not deviate his eyes from the red pill.
Does not shirk an issue.
To Tompus, who's got to get round O'Sullivan. I should say Sutherland, who did a very good job in holding onto the young man. And he wants that football.
It's like a big bear hug, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant from Powell. And big pumper. Just got enough for young Jimmy. He didn't want to knock it out of play. Had to drag it back in, so deja vu. Inside 50 with a kick. Roving done by Sikalala, who read it beautifully. Tiller, Grieger, just squeezed the kick out. Jared, and then away to Tompus. You bet your life he'll get rid of it quick here. Staple, the lead-up man on the half-volley. Spur takes him to ground. It'll be another ball up. And Big Pumper gets on the phone to Roy, and I reckon Roy's saying, that's what we want.
What will they be talking about there? Parry's dropping back into the hole. I reckon they'll be talking it over whether or not to send Pumper in with him and just go one-on-one all over the ground. That's the only free at this point in time, is the ruckman's playing behind the ball.
Callanan squeezes out a long kick. It's a 2-on-1. Should advantage the Eagles, and at the back, the consummate professional McKenzie takes the mark. No chance he was going to miss that one. Lewis through the middle to Day. Day started at half-back on Chris Gowans. They've got Hall outside, and they've found Hall again. And inside 50 with the kick. Question of accuracy, beautiful kick. Gronke stands up and takes the punishment from Barmby. And the umpire says that's a mark. Eagles in there quickly to remonstrate. The 2 tough men in Treby and Remington quite willing to have a go. And it has been a real statement physically by the Eagles to start this game.
It has, and I spoke about it earlier, about the willingness and the want to tackle well in grand finals. That's what sets up grand finals.
So Grokey, who, shall we say, is a little shaky under the pressure of a set shot. He's only going to have to kick this straight for 30 metres. Then it can do what it likes after that, I guess, the ball. So here he goes. With 14 points up. And the Eagles are now 20 points up. Great finish. A pressure finish.
Certainly was a pressure finish, but it all started from down back. Let's go down back where it started with Mark McKenzie. Got the ball through to Lewis. Lewis was good enough to find Day through the middle of the ground. Day found Hall out wide, and then it was a beautiful kick. The entry inside forward 50 from Hall. In between 2 players, had to weight it nicely, and Grokey had to stand underneath the weight of an opposition player coming full tilt at him.
Possession so far, Central's 42, Eagles 73.
Just an ability to get their hands on the ball, and Sticks their ability to use the football and just hit their targets. They're hitting a man in between 2 opposition players. They're hitting their targets, pinpointing.
They're on today. You can sense they're on today.
And this first quarter is any indication, the Bulldogs have really got a fight on their hands
and
to win 5 in a row.
Let's just say that they like a fight, and they're up for a fight. So that's not right off Central's just at this point in time.
You'd be absolutely crazy to write them off, because time and time again they come back. James Remington taking a spell. And the umpires constantly chatting to the players. Jostling for position. Callanan sharked it. Then the kick was high. Lewis running with the flight of the ball. O'Hara taken to ground. There's another bone-crunching tackle.
Who from? Powell.
Yes, he is on today, Luke Powell. He wants this You can sense it. But that's the way you've got to approach a grand final. Redden, Powell held without the footy. Chris Gowan says, surely not. Then away to Allman. Then back to the little man in Tumpus, and Powell said, thanks very much for that. Allman got a couple to contend with, and they just lost a bit of surety with the football then, the Eagles, and young Jimmy Tumpus putting Luke Powell right under the hammer.
It's amazing grand finals. You only got to put that ball that fraction of a second behind a player who's got to stop and prop. They get you very quickly. That's why you've got to be very precise with your ball movements.
Thomas, and then James Gowans hacks it off the ground deep inside 50. Dunn released it. And Gafrida did well, take it to the line. Umpire said that's okay. So all of a sudden the Doggies have an opportunity. They need one. They're 20 points down. And that's the tipping point, in fact, in the SANFL. They came back from 19 down against the Eagles during the minor round, but no side has come back from 20 points down at quarter time in the SANFL this season. Redden released it well. Lewis and then support, and there was a head clash involving Thomas and Callanan there as the Eagles clear their defensive zone, get it out between centre wing and half back. So just the time to steady and consider things, as no doubt that Dogs fan is doing at the moment. Hanath laid it down, found Boyd off the left foot, not a great disposal. Coming and meeting it, and perhaps in the back, and Sullivan is over the top, and Allman's in a lot of trouble. He's gone. Oh, I thought he might have been forced onto that ball. Just a fumble, and he did drag it in.
Yeah, that's what he got him for.
And we're looking at the replay. The long shot at goal goes for the minor score from Paul Thomas, who received a hand pass off the mark, or off the free kick at least. And so the first opportunity to have a look at the ability of the Eagles to transition from this situation.
High kick. Redden has been in everything, Jared Redden. I've liked the way he's gone about the first quarter in the grand final. He may get a free kick here, or is it against him? It might have worked against him, and it'll go to Paul Thomas, one of the best in the business at hard ball gets. He floats the kick up. Goodrum and McKenzie. Siren sounds, and I think that will count as a behind. It will. So Goodrum gets a behind, and it's quarter time in the grand final, and the Eagles 4-26 lead Central District 1-1-7.
Well, what an opening quarter. It just seems like that long ago that the bounce was down and then they were into it, and certainly the Eagles were in and hard early.
It is amazing how that happens in grand finals. They go so quick, you know, from the first bounce to the last siren. It's so quick, and they were into it, the Eagles, led by Luke Powell. I liked his game so far.
Some good run off half-back. Lee Staple gets on the end of a pass early in the match, and as I mentioned, the run of the Eagles has been fantastic.
It certainly has. With this bloke here, Goldsworthy on screen, he's been running hard. Also, Hall's been running hard. Tumpus is when he's come on, has run really hard. So they're actually outworking Centrals at this point in time, just purely on the back of their work rate. As we see Lee Staples' goal here, Luke Powell's in and under work there, enable this ball to be jarred free. Sikalella just with some vision, able to spot up Hall, who's been running really hard through the midfield, and it's a great finish by young Chris Hall.
You worry about Centrals, of course, at any stage, particularly in a grand final. They obviously just haven't hit quite their game at the moment. They'll be a little bit worried by the way that the Eagles have been able to get outside the packs.
That's what they would be worried about, is that running movement. They'll want to shut that down. I think Roy Laird will be speaking about that at quarter time, the ability to shut the runners down. You can't allow them to run with the ball and run freely. They'll hurt any side that is allowed to run hard with the ball, but you cannot, let's not write Centrals off just at this point in time. They're masters at coming back. They've been in this position a couple of times before, and they'll want to really rebound strongly from it.
No doubt about that, and they've got the ability, as we see here. Adam Grokey, as I mentioned, shaky under this sort of pressure of kicking a set shot, but that time very accurate, and as a result, a good lead. Perhaps, maybe, at the end of the match, we'll say a match-winning lead, but right now we can't say that. It's 4-2-26 plays 1-2-8, and a good result from the opening quarter for the Eagles this afternoon. One man who I'm sure will be enjoying it is a man who was captain in 2006 and didn't have the pleasure of playing in that grand final against Central District, nor was he able to really enjoy the afternoon. Gavin Colville will join us now from the boundary. And Gav, those memories of 2006, I'm sure they're still strong, even stronger this afternoon.
Yeah, they are. It's, you know, when I got back here, I've been away from the club a little bit last few years, and as soon as I got back here today, a few memories came back for sure.
And take you back to 2006, of course, the reason you missed the grand final, there was some sort of test on your shoulder injury that you had. And the man who replaced you, in fact, was Paul Stewart, a young man then 19 years of age. He dislocated his shoulder, ironically, very early in the grand final. Yeah, it was ironic, but yeah, that's what happened. Look, we probably thought I was going to play after the week before, but we waited probably about to an hour before the game, and I had a fitness test. And look, you know, it's something I still think about, whether I could have gone out and played, and reality is I probably could have, but I chose to put the team first, and you know, I stand by that. Fantastic. I think there's very few people could put yourself in that situation, in that mindset, and I'm sure you would have been really distraught at what had happened at the end as well, while at the same time you would be very happy. Yeah, it was a lot of mixed emotions, because it was something we'd been working for a long, long time, and you know, we'd suffered a few pretty bad defeats at the hand of Central, so look, I couldn't have been happier for the club and for all the players as well. And you know, I tried my best to, I suppose, you know, put my disappointment to the side and help, you know, celebrate with everyone else.
Gav, Brenton Phillips, mate, what's your take on today's game? How are you seeing it at this point in time?
Look, I couldn't be happier the way the boys have started. I think our pressure around restarts, and we're winning the 50-50 contests, and I think maybe Centrals are playing into our hands a bit with their long kicking. So, you know, hopefully, I'm sure Roy Lloyd's not listening to me, but they keep playing like this way, it's going to be a good day for us. All right, we hope it's a great day for you, Gav. I know you're coaching at Henley, so good luck with next season as well with the Mighty Sharks. OK, thanks, boys. Gavin Colville there, and speaking of the things that the coaches say, we're going to go down to Chris Kendall. Chris, you've been listening in for the Eagles.
Look, certainly have, Crossy. They're fairly calm and measured down here at the moment, the Eagles. And Mark McKenzie addressed the players at length at the start of the break. He said the most important two things are they have to stick to their structures and more so hit the body and keep hitting the body hard. They feel the key to breaking down Centrals is on the physical side of things, and that's what they're really going to have to try and hammer home. Over to Mark Soderstrom at the Centrals bench.
Well, the Dogs, they are under the pump, no doubt about that. And as you can imagine, the Twins are going crazy and they're just trying to sort out what to do. Roy Laird just restructuring things in the middle of the ground at the moment. He wants a lift from his ruckman, going to get the half forwards just to come up a little bit towards the wing and just work their way really quickly into the contest to try and put some pressure on. 3 goals down at the moment, but the Dogs aren't panicking. If we go back to round 19 against the Eagles, they were 20 points down at half-time and were still able to get up and get a win there. Here's Chris Kendall with Mickey Godden.
Mick, the key to breaking Centrals down is to hit them really hard from the first bounce. You must be pleased with how they've done that right away.
Yeah, look, it was something that we really wanted to do, was to engage them early and really get physical, and the boys executed that really well. But you know they're going to come back at you twice as hard, so the guys have to stand up to that pressure now.
3 quarters to go, but some of the kids have really stood up so far. Young Jimmy Chompus has been very good. Matthew Goldsworthy getting plenty of it.
Yeah, they have. I mean, the key was to be clean today under the pressure, and early. Now they've got a feel for it. I would expect them to get better now.
Good start for you, Mick. Let's hope it continues.
Yeah, thanks.
The stats all indicate Eagles at this point in time, they've had more of the ball. They've gone inside 50 just that one more time, which to me is pretty amazing. Centre breaks 4-2. That's why Roy Laird's asking for their ruckman to give them a solid effort in there.
18-point margin at quarter time. Here's Michael Maney to get us underway for the second term.
Brilliant first quarter by the Eagles, but can they sustain the effort? That is the big question. They've done everything right so far in the first term. Craig Parry's ready. So too Big Pumper Sutherland. Underway second term. Ball knocked down off the ground by Dunn. He was the man that came in for Hardy, who missed out. Parry. Handball crunch. Raymond didn't know what hit him there for a second, and there'll be another stoppage here. And there's the stoppage king. He has been everywhere. Number 7. If you're looking at Jack Odie first term, you'd be having a good look at number 7.
Always like a player that comes up with the ball at the end of the stoppage. Means he's been on the bottom of the pack.
Boyd has got a little toe poke. Thomas just sped away. Hooked it around the corner. And Parry held his ground. James Gowans did nicely to Chris. And then the left footer, Callanan and Gafrida. Oh, brilliantly rode by Callanan. The handball inside to Hable. Then the Hable handball. Callanan, left footer, squeezed it round the corner. Dangerous position. Jenner, left footer, goal! They will continue to hit it to the hot spot, the Bulldogs. And Kyle Jenner, nice little left footer.
Discipline to the nth degree. That's why they kicked that goal. Callanan probably had a right to have a shot for goal here because of his tricks in that pocket a few weeks back. But he did the discipline thing. Grand finals do the discipline things, get it into the most dangerous spot. And then Jenner just easily as you like, get around onto his left and hit a nice goal.
Kyle Jenner, with only one premiership to his name, he's looking for a second. Crossed over at a good time from Port Adelaide. Free kick against Sutherland. Gee, gives away a lot. So Parry with Raymond to his right, and Raymond can run, and over the top loose will be Allman. He decides to go longer for Thompson, and Thompson did well to get to the ball. Now he's got an opportunity to put it inside 50, and gee, that was a good kick, and Staple again, the workhorse inside 50 leads up.
Probably where they're on top of him at the moment is the marks inside forward 50. I haven't got the stat in front of me at the moment, but their marks inside forward 50, I would suggest, would be in front of what Centrals are at this point in time.
You took the words out of my mouth. Sticks, it's 5-0.
Thanks, Moggy.
So the reverse angle to have a good look at what Lee Staple has in front of him. There's his kick, and it's narrow. It's well narrow. In fact, it's awful. Out of bounds on the full there. And so Centrals will take over from their own back pocket.
You happy for him to have a shot there, Sticks, or just do the discipline thing and hit it to the top of the square?
I think you're every right to have a shot from there. The breeze was the right side for him to have a shot there, so I was more than happy for him to have a shot.
Hayes got the wobbles there for a moment. Handball by Boyd over the top to Spur. We know that he can put the foot down and run from half back. Just pulled the kick a bit. Mackenzie in amongst a couple there. Ball will find the line. It'll be a boundary throw-in. Just having a little bit of trouble coming out on occasions, the Bulldogs out of half back, and the Eagles have manned up nicely. Got a nice wall going.
Mackenzie just read that nicely. He dropped off his immediate player in Goodrum and just went to that contest.
Boyd did pretty well then to feed the handball to Thomas. Thomas on a full burst, looking for Havelberg. This will test the hamstring out. So too Grieger. He's had his hamstring problems. In they go. No clear football. It ends up with Goodrum. Somehow found himself in space. Chipping little ball to James Gowans. Oh, he can get around. Left foot. It doesn't matter. He rolls another one through for the Bulldogs. You don't have to have superior pace. You can change direction if you can kick left or right. You'll kick the goals, and the Bulldogs get the first 2 of the second term.
You don't have to have superior pace. What you've got to do is have superior understanding of what's happening in the game. He understood this. Chris worked hard to get it out to Goodrum. Goodrum just put it